Hello my lovelies, I hope you've been well. So for today, it's another collection slash favorite video. So this is going to be very similar to when I did my affordable found on pens video, which meant that I'll take you through all the ones that I have in my collection, and then after that we'll pick a top 5 and the top 3 maybe. So if you're new here, my name is Marc and I do a lot of journaling and some lettering. I do use these quite a lot. I do have a few of them because I was trying this when I first started, and then I heard someone said, oh, this one's better, so I changed it to that, and then that's how I build up my collection. So I have quite a fair bit. We'll talk about pros and cons for each of them. I'm just gonna go left to right and then we'll talk about each of them. I will swatch each of them and then we'll determine which one is good for you. For me, there's two types of brush pens, right? One that you use when you needed something really big, and one that is really good for journaling, because when you're journaling you don't want your lettering to be too big, because obviously you're just in an A5 size. But if you're lettering in a big A4 or in a letter size paper, some of them might be better for you, or if you're just learning thick and thin. So I'll go through all that. For me, because I do a lot of journaling, what I actually like is the ones that are really good for journaling, but we will talk about the ones that are good for lettering as well. So we'll just get started. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the Tombow. I think this is called the Tombow dual marker. And this one is probably one of the most famous one for lettering. This is very good when you're just starting because the tip are actually quite big, so it's easier for you to practice when you're just a beginning. For journaling, I find this a little bit too thick. It makes my writing super thick, but it's really good for when you're just beginning and learning how to letter. So this is the Tombow. As you can see with this, you cannot make it any smaller than this. If you try to make it smaller, the harder it is to read because it's very thick. So you can't just do it's very small. See how like the A is starting to not have the hole in the middle? Because this is quite thick and very, very hard to write small with. But ideally, because it's a dual tip, you're meant to write small with this, right? But it doesn't produce the thick and thins for this one. It's just basically like another felt tip pen or marker. So this is good for lettering or if you're a beginner, but if you want to get into journaling, these aren't my pen of choice basically. But Tombow also make these fudenosuke pens, and these ones are the ones that is probably a little bit more suitable if you're journaling, if you like Tombow. For what I remember, they don't come with a lot of colors. They used to only come with gray, brown, and black. But I think recently I've seen a pastel version, but I haven't gotten it because I like natural colors better, so I didn't get that one. So this is the Tombow fudenosuke. So this one, as you can tell, you can't really write big, but it's actually very nice if you're using it for journaling. And this is the hard tip. I like the hard tip because it lets me write thinner strokes. I don't actually have any soft tip with me right now, I don't think. But these are also very affordable and very easy to use if you're looking to start to letter in your journals. These ones are better than the Tombow dual brush for journaling, but if you're looking to create lettering pieces, this one is probably the one that you want. So that's the Tombow fudenosuke. So the next one we have here is the Kuratake Zig Clean Color Real Brush. This is important. The real brush is important because this is actually the only one that I found. There might be another one, but I just don't have it on with me. But this one uses real bristles. I don't know if you can tell if I do this, but it has real bristles and it's not like the spongy ones that the other brush pen has. So if you're someone who really like to paint, this might be an easier way to get into brush pens if you've already paint, because this felt like a real brush. Well, the name says it, right? Real brush. But it does have all the little bristles like a brush. But if you're someone who already got used to the spongy bits like the Tombow or the Pentel fude or anything else, this might be a little bit hard to write with. This is why I only have one version, because I think there's another one called Acacia Sai, I think. But this is the only one I have because I realize I'm not great at writing with a brush. If you're someone who got used to the spongy tip of the other brush pen, these are actually a bit harder to get used to. So I will do it for you anyway, but please excuse the horrible writing. I have to do it really slowly because this is not something I'm used to. That's why I only have one. So this one is the Kuratake. It needs a little bit of getting used to, actually. Kuratake is a clean cut. Why does it have to have such a long name when this makes my writing look so bad? Because I'm not used to brush, because I'm not an artist. Okay, so as you can see, it's like it's very smooth, but definitely for someone who's actually familiar with brushes, because if you're used to the other brush pen, these can be have a little learning curve. Like for me, I will bring you closer. You will see how bad my writing looks in this. Look at that. It's like the hello is very shaky. I don't recommend this if you're someone who already used a lot of brush pen, because these are very brushy. I feel like these are more for people who actually sketch and not just letter. So there you go. I have it, so I thought I'll compare it, but it's definitely not for lettering unless you're very proficient with brushes. So there you go. So this is another Kuratake as well. I'm not sure what it's called in English. I'm not sure what it's called in Japanese either, because I don't read Japanese. Because this is the other Kuratake one that has a spongy little bits in the front. So this is like more like the other brush pens for lettering. So we'll try that one as well. This one has quite a big tip as well, so it feels more like Tombow to me. But the thick and thin you can really control. So this is the Kuratake. But this is also probably much better for if you're looking to do a lot of lettering practice or bigger lettering pieces and not for journaling. So there you go. So I'm gonna separate this based on this is lettering and this is journaling, and then zig can just stay in the middle. So yep. So next one that we have, this is a zebra brush pen. It comes in 3 tips. This one is the middle tip. They have a hard, a soft, and something in the middle. So basically this is the something in the middle. I'm actually curious to actually buy maybe a harder tip, because I feel like I like the harder tip more, because the baseline of that is way thinner than the soft ones, I feel like. But we will try it anyway. So this is the zebra brush pen. So this one you can also use for journaling. I feel like this is something in the middle. It's not very thin, but it's not very thick as well. I guess that's why it's called like the middle tip, right? I don't know what it's called. Medium, not middle. That's why it's called a medium tip, because obviously it's not as thick as, it's like right in the middle. So I guess these are good if you're doing both, because this is actually pretty good. So this is zebra brush pen. I actually like this one as well. I don't use it too much, but if you need something that's very thin and can do very thin and very thick strokes, this is actually quite good. So actually like it as well. This one, if I'm not wrong, you can actually get it from Daiso, because I think I got mine from Daiso, but don't take my word for it. I hope that your Daiso have it. So these ones are something in the middle. And then we have something that I don't see talked a lot. This is called the Marvy plume. This reminds me of the Tombow dual brush. The form looks very similar, but very strangely it's way thinner than the Tombow. So I actually like it more than the Tombow, because sometimes I can use this to journal, and then I can use the top for my lettering and then the edges for my writing. So I feel like that was really nice. So let's try this one. This one, the tip has already a little bit worn out, so it's not as thin. So maybe I will try with another one that the tip might be slightly better, because that one is a nice color and I used it a lot, because you know I like neutral colors, right? So this one I don't use a lot. So you can see that the tip is still very, very nice and thin. But that is also a drawback of this. The tip can get worn out like any other tip, I guess. But look at this. Ta-da! Oh, I forgot to print the name, so. So this is Marvy plume. They're actually very affordable when you compare it to Tombow. I got it a while ago, so I don't know how much it is now, but from what I remember, it's still cheaper than a Tombow. So if you're looking for something that is thinner than a Tombow but also a dual tip, this one is also really good. Another one that I actually really like is the Sailor Shikiori. This one is very similar with the Tombow. I really like both tips, but they come in the nicest muted colors, because you know me, I like muted colors, and not a lot of these pens have muted colors. Usually they have the normal like 12 color pack for color pencil, you know, those kind of really bright colors. But this one, look at this, they have so many nice muted colors, so I really like this set. But the tip can worn out over time. That's the only thing that I don't really like about it. I guess all these tips, when you use it enough, it'll break down because it's like, you know, sponge. But this is the Sailor Shikiori. I will compare it as well to the ones that are like a little bit newer, because the newer tips are a little bit thinner than this. Okay, so let's pick a color I don't really use. I don't really use this bright red, if ever. Like, look at the difference of the tip of something I've used often and something that is new. Look at that. So there you go. The tip can get worn out, but I feel like with all of this, the tip, if you use it often, the tip eventually will run out. So I just want to compare the newer tip and the older tip, just because I feel like it's a big difference. Because as you can see, with the newer tip, you get so much thinner. The older tip, because I've already like pressed on it quite a bit hard, it's not as thin anymore. So that will happen with time, but I feel like with all of them, it'll happen anyway when you use it enough. And you know I use this quite a lot. Sailor Shikiori. Oh, not SK. Shikiori. So I really like this one as well. It's one of my favorite brush pen for journaling. And then the little one at the back is really good to write on. This one will erode over time as well, because well, it depends, right? If you're good and you actually rotate when you write, then it shouldn't be a problem. But me, I don't rotate when I write, that's why. But anyway, that's the Sailor Shikiori, one of my favorite pens because of the color range, but also because of the tip. That's really amazing. I also have this one. I feel like it's something that everyone likes. I like too. This is probably one of my favorite as well. This is the Pentel Fude Touch, and it's probably the best one, I'd say, for when you're journaling, because the tips are super small. Can you see? Yeah, the tips are quite small, so it's very nice for thick and thin. Out of all this is probably one of the smallest ones. If you write quite small, this is a really good one because the tip is actually quite small as well. So I'll demonstrate. So look at that, it's so thin. If you hold it in an angle, you can still get very thick strokes. So I really like how small it is. If you only can get one type of brush pen for journaling, I would 100% recommend this one, the Pentel Fude Touch or Design Pen. Especially if you have small writing, this is probably the best one. Even though my writing's a little bit bad on that one, but trust me, it's like one of the best ones. And most of these doesn't really Some of them ghost a little bit more than the others. I think it's because it's a bit thicker, so if you don't like ghosting, definitely get the thinner ones like the Pentel for the touch. So we also have this one. Is probably one of my newer ones, but I actually really like it. So this is by Unipin, and it's the brush tip water and fade proof pigment ink pen. I'm not sure if they come out with many colors, but for as far as I know, it has a black, 2 types of gray, and a brown. But I really like the brown anyway, because you know I like natural colors. We've already talked about this, but this one is also something that I really like, because the tip, I feel like everything just has to do with the tip. The tip are quite small as well, so this one is also quite good for journaling. This can produce thicker strokes than the Pentel Fude Touch, so this one is also one of my favorite. I use this a lot to write on orders and things like that. So this is the Unipin. The only thing about this one is it can ghost quite a bit. This one is, the paper is pretty good, so it doesn't. On some paper it might ghost a little bit just because you can do it a bit thicker. So this one, I feel like if you're already using brush pens for a while, this one is probably the one that you want to upgrade to. For beginners, I would recommend the Pentel sign pen a bit more, just because it's a little bit harder. The hard tips are easier to practice with, I feel like, because you need to consciously press. If it's like very soft, it's a little bit harder to learn the thick and thin, because you just have to press on it a little bit more. So this is the Unipin brush pen, and this is actually one of my favorite as well. I really like this one. And I use it a lot, and it hasn't run out, so I think it has a lot of ink as well. So I really like this one as well. So that sits very close to the Pentel sign pen, because I like it both for journaling. And then we have another 2, so hang in there, we're nearly finished. This is the Crayola Super Tips. It's not really like a brush pen per se. It doesn't get marketed as a brush pen, because these are a marker, but the tip has this really thin in the edge, and then it tapered into like a thicker one, so you can still use it for lettering. But essentially, I'm not sure you can journal with this because it's a bit thick, but it's good for you. You just want to learn lettering, but you don't want to spend too much money with the expensive brush pen, because this is probably one of the most affordable one compared to everyone else. And you can do the thick and thin, like it's a little bit different the way you do it, but you can still get that. So if you're hello so if you're someone that's just starting out and don't want to spend too much on a brush pen because you're not sure if you're going to be good at it or if you're going to like it, these ones are actually really good, because you can use it as a marker afterward. This is not a conventional brush pen per se, because it's a little bit different. Like this one can actually work, even though it's not as great as other ones. But if you're just starting out, you just want to find out if you actually like it, this is actually great, because they sell it quite affordable. So this one is Crayola Super Tips. I like this one as well when I first starting out. I don't use it that much these days because I have all these other beautiful pens, so that's a bonus. Also a bonus is the Tombow Studio Lumos pen, and this one it's a little bit different because it is a brush tip, but the thing with this is you can put in your own ink. So if you are someone who likes using fountain pen inks, I love this. This is such a game changer for me, because now I can do lettering with any color that I want, because basically it has a capillary action that sucks in the ink into the brush tip. So you can actually change any colors to put in here. So if you already have a lot of fountain pen inks, you can feed it into this and you have your own special color brush pens, and it really pays off. It's really great as well. The brush pen of the Tombow Studio is, oh my god, like I brought this into some of the meetups with my journal friends, and they always have compliments on it just because it's super smooth. I just love it so much. I actually am thinking if I want to get more of the tips and of the pen so I can have it in a few different colors. Seems a bit excessive because the pen are not cheap, but the quality is really great. They're actually made of metal. I don't know if you can hear it, you can tell, but they're made of metal, and it's something that you can refill. And the brush tip, you know how I was complaining about brush tip wearing off? This one, they actually sell just the brush tip, so you don't actually have to get the whole pen again, and you can just get the sponge and the brush tip, and then you can just use it like that. So I really love this. I can't recommend it enough, and not just because I'm an ambassador because I really love their products, but yeah, this is game changing for me. And it's a little bit of a bonus because it's a little bit more expensive than the rest, but I feel like in the long run, if you're actually serious about journaling or lettering, it might be something that you want to invest on, because you can use any colors with this, and you know how many fountain pen ink colors out there. You can just use any colors you want, which is very nice. So I'm gonna stop gushing about this pen and I'll try it for you, because I feel like I've talked a lot, but I really love this pen, everybody. So this one is probably better for lettering than for journaling, but I still use it in my journals all the time because it looks great. So I use the Tombow Lumos pen with this. So it's actually pretty nice size for journaling as well. This is actually the same color ink, so that's why it's great. You can use the same color ink for lettering and for writing. I used to struggle with that until I found Tombow, because let me see, and you can tell they're different colors, because that one is a more cooler type of blue and that's a lighter blue. So that used to annoy me so much, and now that I have the Tombow, I can make sure that, you know, the color and the writing are the same. So that's probably a personal thing, but I just really love this pen and I can't recommend it enough. I know it's a little bit steep, but if you see yourself doing this for a long time, I think it's a really great investment for your lettering and journaling. So there you go. So I'll bring everyone back. Come on, everyone back. These ones are the bonus ones. These are the ones that I've talked to you today. These two, the Kuratake and the Tombow, I feel like are the best for lettering. This one is tethering in the middle, and then these ones are the ones that are the best for journaling. So for me, this one's a different one because I feel like it's a brush, so that just sits on the side. But this one is the best if you're starting out and if you want to use it for journaling, because the tips are very thin and it's very nice to use. The tip is also quite hard, which meant that if you're just learning, it's easier for you to do the thicks and thins, because when you're first starting out, you need to learn how to control your hands, right? And with some of the other pens, a little goes a long way. So these ones you have to press a little bit more to get the thicks and thin, but it's great for if you're just starting out. So that one is my favorite beginner pen, and then these two are really good for journaling. Color wise, if you're like me and you like natural colors, this Sailor Shikiori is really good, and the Marvy plume actually has a lot of great colors as well. Their range is probably not as big as Tombow, but they have quite a fair bit of colors as well. So if you're someone who like colors, then look into that. They have packs of 10 as well, so that's pretty handy. For the Tombow fudenosuke, I think they now have a pastel color. I don't know what the colors are like, but you're welcome to try it if you like pastel colors. This one, I think it's only on black, but there's 3 tips, so you can do, this one's the medium tip, so you can do the hard tip, the soft tip, or the medium tip. So if you want something for journaling, get the hard tip. If you want something for lettering, maybe try the soft tip, but I haven't tried the soft tip, so I can't report to you that it's going to be good for lettering or not. But the medium tip is great for both. So this is how I will categorize it, right? These two are probably journaling only. I think this one is probably journaling only as well. These two are lettering only because they're like the tips are a little bit thick, and these 3 sits in the middle. You can do it for both. And color wise, I really love the shikiori, and these are like some of the other ones on the side. It's like a different kind of case because I really love the Tombow for journaling, but I understand it's a little bit more expensive, so you might not want to spend that much. And the Crayola super tips are for if you're looking for something very affordable for starting out. It's great. And this one, the Kuratake Zig, is if you have great control with brushes before, it's great for lettering as well. Even though you can always letter with your brushes as well, it'll have the same effect. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to pick my top 5 And then my top 3. So let's go. So Tombow definitely. I'm gonna pick that. I'm gonna move it down a little bit so I can put it up there. So definitely the Tombow is one of my favorite because you know I already gushed about this. I don't think I need to talk about it anymore, but I love that you're able to change the color with any fountain pen inks. So if you're already a fountain pen ink user, I think you should get that for your lettering. And the brush is so smooth and so soft, and it's amazing. I love it. And I love also that you can actually change the brush once it wears out, even though I've used it for a year and the brush hasn't worn off yet. So that's one of my favorite. Pentel sign pen is also my favorite because they're one of the thinnest one. Okay, if I do this, they're one of the thinnest tip that you can get. So really love that one as well. So that comes along with me as well. I also really love the Sailor Shikiori. I'm running out of space now. Really love the Sailor Shikiori for the colors and the tips, but the tip wears out quite a bit. So if you're someone who's quite heavy-handed with your pens, maybe not a great one for you to try because it wears out a little bit, but the color is absolutely amazing. I really love the natural colors in that one. Another one that I will put in as well is the Unipin brush pen because that has really nice thick and thin, and it's really nice to use. I've already used it a lot, but it doesn't seem to run out of. There's quite a fair bit of ink in there. Really love that one. And then this last one is going to be a little bit harder, but I think I will have to go with the Marvy plume just because it's affordable. You can get a big set of 10. It has 2 tips, which is nice. They have a range of colors. Like if you someone who likes colors, let me get this out because this is how many La Plume colors I have. Trying to not mess up the stuff, but most of these are La Plume colors. Some of them are Tombows that just got straggled in there. I'll put it back on my Tombow with my other Tombow pens, but these, the taller ones, because this is the super tips, but the taller ones are the colors of the Marvy plume, and you can already tell this is from, I believe, 3 different sets. So as you can tell, there's a range of colors, even though I feel like these 2 are the same color. No, it's not. It's 2 different color, but from the top it looks the same. So they have a lot of different color range. Is this one's the same color? Yeah, these ones are the same color. So my eyes are not that bad yet, you guys. So there's a lot of range of colors. I really like both of the tips. If you're looking to start and you want like different kind of colors that is non-mainstream, it's also another good one to try. So let me put that back so I don't distract you with all the colors. But those are my top 5. So I'm just gonna move these 1, 2, 3, 6 away, and we'll focus on the top 5 because I'm gonna narrow it down to a top 3. Okay, this is gonna be really hard, guys, because I really like all of them. So I forgot to say that the Pentel sign pen or the Pentel Fude Touch also come with a lot of different colors. They keep coming out with new ones, and there's some natural ones, so I actually really like the colors of that as well. So this is gonna be quite hard because I feel like I like all of them. So Tombow definitely will come along because that lets me do any color I want, and the brush tip is amazing. I feel like I might have to choose between these 2, like, because these are like very similar and these are kind of similar. Me right now in this current moment, I feel like the Unipin feels a little bit better to me. It needs a little bit more control. So if you're a beginner, you might want to stick with the pencil brush pen first before you upgrade to this, because this probably needs more control. But I really like it. It makes my writing looks very nice, so I'm gonna take that, even though it makes me sad to not choose the brush line pen. Oh my god, but I just really love the Unipin, so I'm sorry. This, once upon a time, this is my favorite brush pen, so it makes me so sad that I have to kick it out of the top 3. But yeah, I think at this point where I am right now, I feel happier using that a bit more than the Pentel Fude Touch. But I still use the Fude Touch because it has a lot of way more colors than this. This, unfortunately, only come in 4 colors. So black, 2 grays, and a brown. So not a lot of colors for that one. So for this is a little bit hard as well, because I love the shikiori, but I don't love the brush can deteriorate a bit quick. So even though I love all the colors, I think with like price wise and color selections and stuff, I would have to go to the Marvy plume. This is actually, I actually didn't expect this, you guys. I expected these two to be on the top 3 because I really love this. But now that I tried all again, and now that I've deduced from, like, you know, how fast it deteriorates, price as well, and everything, these are my top 3. So it's very surprising because I didn't think this would be my top 3 when I first started recording. There you go. Plot twist. We do love a good plot twist, don't we? Anyway, I've rambled for 40 minutes. I'll bring all the siblings back in again. I hope that is useful. There's quite a bit of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 of them. I hope that this is useful. I hope you find something in here if you're trying to decide what brush pen to get. And if you have other brush pen that you love that is not in this list, let me know how you like them and everything. And I will link all of these down below. If you're looking for a brush pen to start off with, then it might be useful. So for beginners, this is the one that I will recommend to you if you're looking to get into lettering in your journals, and if you want something affordable just to try out. If you actually like it, then I would recommend the Crayola supertips. If you're already sure that you like lettering and you mainly use it for bigger pieces, then the Tombow is a good one because it's tried and tested. It has dual tips. But these, I only recommend this if you're looking to letter in a big, maybe A5 or A4 or like letter size print, because the brush gets really, really thick. And if you want something smaller, then I would recommend the Marvy plume as well. So I hope that helps. Let me know if there's any questions down below, if there's, like, you know, use cases or edge cases that might be a little bit different from what I mentioned, or if you have any suggestion of different pens that you don't see, because I am already satisfied with this, so I don't actually actively go out to look for new brush pens. So if there's anything new that you discovered that you like more than any of this, let me know. If you're just starting out and you're deciding to get something and you find this video helpful, do comment as well or give it a like so it can get pushed into more relevant people that might be looking for brush pens as well. That will be it for today. I hope this video is useful. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. So the next one we have, oh, this is also a Kuratake. So there's 2 Kuratakes. Okay, this is a mess.